Okay, so that's how we left it in stage 12. And like I say, even though I said that I'm a bit concerned about how these will stay on for a long time, but here you can see once the glue's fully set, they're absolutely solid. So yeah, it's just they don't feel that great when it's dry, but once it's dry, it's absolutely rock solid. Okay, so next part of the video, stage 13, we'll be adding a lot more of these faux edge parts to kind of finish off the front edge and the back edge of this tail fin. So we got this part. This is part C9, and these is on the C parts. It's like it very much feels like it's two pieces of faux wedge stuck together. It's double the thicknesses of everything on the B and the C. So on the back edge of these C parts, you can tell we've got like a little bit of a recess where, bring it closer to the camera, where we have got like little spaces for take some glue. And the same again on this this edge of this, we've got a little recess that kind of where we're going to take some glue on there as well. So first thing I'm going to do is there's actually another little spot at the bottom, but we're going to worry about that after. So the first thing I'm going to do is put a little bit of glue on that section, a little bit of glue on that section, and we'll worry about gluing that after when these two parts are clean. So you've got to feed this bottom section of C9 under there, otherwise it won't go in. And then we just line these two parts up. Put a little clamp, mini peg on there, make sure that looks like it's lined up in the groove. Okay, so we're now going to move on to this section. So we need quite a few parts. We need the C6, we need the C89, two C10s and a C11, and this is going to be used to make up all this. So same again, like I just told you in the last section, these have got like a little recess, and on this part as well we've got recesses where we're going to bring these two parts together. So it can only go one way, you can't put it that way. So same again, a little bit of glue on this top edge, a little bit of glue on the bottom edge. I'll lay that down, because like I said, this is not instant, it doesn't go off straight away. I mean, it's because it's the metal parts. Once it's dry, it's absolutely rock solid, but it just takes a little bit of time to dry. And once it's bit, I'll just put a little peg on either side just to any minor adjustments. Okay, so we'll let that dry a good 10 minutes, and when we come back, I'm going to add these next part. It's a little bit tricky. I'm going to feed them in just like that. Okay, so that's been drying for 5 minutes, so that should be absolutely fine now. So now we've got to slide in these parts, and this is a C11 and then two C10. So the C11 kind of sits on top of that little raised out section. It kind of fits in that groove as well. So I'm going to put it in that groove, and then we'll slide it kind of down, so then it sits just like that. Okay, so put a little bit of super glue in. A little bit of super glue around that area as well. It's only a tiny little groove that it sits in, so kind of got to make sure it's definitely in the groove itself. Just drop a little bit more super glue. just on the edges. And we're just going to do the same on the next one. This is a C10. And same again, we've got like two tiny little there. It's like a little fork, and they're going to drop in that channel there. And then this one just fits in that tiny little groove. This one's not too bad, this one. You actually kind of have to force itself in by a little bit of pressure, so that's kind of good, that, because it kind of holds it in the correct position. So that's that one, and then just one more just above it. And that's them freeing. So I have a lot of these as throwaway brushes, so I can kind of just brush off some of this excess super glue if you have to, and then you can just throw them after. It's really cheap. Okay, so that's that all glued together. Got some brackets to go on in a minute, but that's going to fit just on there like that. Okay, so we've got some more of these B55s, these little brackets that we fitted in the last video that went over that earlier on. And they're the same again, they're going to glue into these little channels. Just like that. I've already bent these, I've bent them exactly the same way. So, a little bit of glue there. One at the bottom, and there's one in the middle. I'd use this tweezers would be better, really. I can't find them, so I'll just use them. Just straighten it up. And probably glue at the bottom's gone a little bit hard, so I'll wait for a second, put a new one on. Okay, so all them little brackets on, let it dry 5 minutes, just adjust that one. If anyone kind of not lined up right, just adjust it, then we'll fit that in a minute. Okay, so that's dry, so now we're going to bring these two parts together. So from the instructions, that one kind of goes just slightly underneath, so there's not actually a lot of this bracket actually fits on, so because we've got like a little stop there that's going to stop on that part of that 1.5mm tube, so it kind of stops. So there's only so much that leaves an equal gap, so you're going to leave an equal gap all along. So yeah, not as much of that bracket gets glued than I would have liked. So I'm going to run a little bit of super glue around this edge, a little bit of super glue around that edge. You can see I'm gluing where that little trough is, and then I'm going to run a little bit of super glue along that back edge as well, and then just a little bit either at the side of the bottom one. So now I'm going to bring this across, try making sure that these kind of run something kind of in line. That lines up like that, really. Maybe I can get a tiny little clamp on just to put a little bit of gluing pressure on there. Just put a touch more glue. Just on the end of the bracket. Okay, so I think the best thing to do is just completely leave that to fully set. And that's pretty much everything done in step 13.